By the end of this video, you'll be more familiar with Gradebook and many of its features. Here's the situation. You're a teacher working in a large K-8 school. You sign into Gradebook for the first time and wonder where to start. You understand that, with a little time and experience with this tool, things will become easier. So, where do you begin? Launching Gradebook from your Power Teacher homepage brings you to the Gradebook main page. Because you've already logged into Power Teacher, the Gradebook is identified with your name and the school that you're working in. The main page is divided into 4 distinct sections: the Classes section, the Student Groups section, the Categories section, and the Primary window. The first thing you notice is that this page can be adjusted to a look that you're comfortable with. You can expand and collapse tabs and menus by clicking these little arrows. You can also adjust the windows to your liking as well. Adjusting the appearance may become important to you as you assess throughout the year and add more and more information to your gradebook. Looking at the top left corner, you see Classes. All of your current classes are listed here, and you can easily toggle from one class to another by clicking on them. The students in each of these classes are listed in the large student window shown here. Gradebook defaults to the current year as indicated above. Clicking on the drop-down arrow will allow you to access your gradebook from previous years. It should be noted that as long as you maintain the same gradebook, everything will carry with you from year to year. This would include the course categories you created, the history of your courses, your comment bank, and so on. This is an advantage of Gradebook because you can copy assignments from previous years, saving you some time and effort. This also allows you the option to update, change, add or delete outcomes, and change anything about the assignment to suit your current needs from year to year. Below Classes, you see the Student Groups window. All classes start with one group, the active group. This group has all the students that currently are in your class. Any students who may have dropped out of your class during this school year would be found in the dropped group shown here. A nice feature here is that Gradebook would still hold any assessment information for any students who dropped out and can be accessed if needed. Clicking on the plus sign here opens up a window giving you the option to add other group sets if you so choose. This means that you can create a variety of student groups as needed for various projects, learning tasks, or for instructional purposes. Right now, in the English class, for example, you see that 3 instructional groups are currently set up. Clicking on the little arrow located to the left of any group will expand the group and show the list of students in that group. Using the drop-down menu here will allow you to highlight selected students. You can also conveniently filter them, showing only those students selected by choosing that option in the drop-down menu. This filter feature, for example, would be great to use during a parent-teacher interview where you could show a child's progress and maintain the privacy of other students in the class. Now, let's look at the music class for a moment. In the bottom left-hand corner, you'll see the Categories window. This is where you can set up various categories to organize your assessments. Power Teacher has 4 predefined categories already set up for you, including Homework, Project, Quiz, and Test, as shown for this music class. If I go back to the English class, You see that different categories were created. You can add and delete categories using the plus and minus signs. You can also edit, add, or delete existing categories by selecting that category and right-clicking for those options. As teachers, you are striving to assess students through observations, conversations, and through the products they produce in class. It is suggested that you create categories that align with these assessment practices. As you can see with some of the other classes, I have already created these categories to include class homework, communications, observations, and products. It should be noted at this time that once the categories are created, they'll be applied to all of your classes for which you're the lead teacher. Using the filter drop-down shown here, you can view the assessments you have in any given category or all of the assessments at once. With the filter off, all of the assessments will be shown. With the filter selected and selecting a category, you can see only the assessments that fall under that category. You can also see that each assessment in this window is color-coded to match the corresponding category color for your convenience. Lastly, these category filters can be used when viewing not only assessments in the score sheet, but when viewing the student view as well. It is recommended that you have the category filter selected at all times so that you can always take advantage of this wonderful feature. Looking across the top, you see various tabs that can be selected. The score sheet is currently selected, and it is where most of the work by teachers is done. The reporting term is shown here, and it displays the current term that you are working in. Clicking the drop-down menu allows the option to view other terms as needed. The score sheet has the students' names listed and displays progress, assessments, and results. The plus and minus signs shown here give you the option to easily add or delete assessments to the score sheet. For example, clicking the plus sign will open up a window allowing you to fill in the details of the assessment and saving it to the score sheet. When entering assessments, there are several tabs where you'll enter information. The first tab, Assignment, is where you will title the assessment, give it an abbreviation, and associate a category to that assessment. For example, the name of the assessment may be Character Study. You can type an abbreviation if you like, or keep it the same, and specify a category for that assessment by clicking in the box and choosing the category you want from the convenient drop-down menu. Communications. Most times you'll want the score type to be points. If your assessment has a points value, enter the maximum points possible. Let's say 100 points. Include a due date, and you can type a description of the assessment as well. If you're associating outcomes with your assessment, you may choose to set the points value as 0 and click on the Standards tab. This screen will display all of the New Brunswick outcomes for the selected subject and grade level, in this case, Grade 4 English. Here you can check off the outcomes that you're assessing. For example, speaking and listening, and SEO, say 1.3 and 1.4. This will create a standards drawer associated with that assignment when saved. So we'll click Save. Notice that the novel study assessment is now saved above. Later, when you return to the assignment, clicking on the S will open the standards drawer. This will allow you to input a grade between 1 and 4+ for each outcome you have selected. Clicking on any assessment and clicking the minus sign provides the option for you to delete the assignment if you so choose. Clicking on any assessment value highlights the student associated with that value and the assessment itself to enhance viewing. You can also edit these by simply changing the value as you see fit. Updating any values for any student on a class score sheet will result in Gradebook prompting you to save the changes when you do decide to leave the score sheet window. Lastly, the summary button at the bottom of the screen will bring up a table showing useful statistics including mean, median, and mode that may help you better understand your students' progress as a whole. Across the top of the score sheet, you will see 3 mode buttons. You are currently looking at the assignment score sheet as indicated by this button being highlighted in blue. Clicking on the Final Grades button opens the screen where K-8 teachers enter the report card achievement data. On the report card, K-5 teachers enter the learning habits under homeroom, and grades 6 to 8 teachers assess learning habits for each subject. Looking at this class, it appears that you have only one student left to enter report card data for. As a K-8 teacher, you can enter a comment by clicking on the cell in the subject comment column. For example, if you'd like to add a comment for Madeline, double-click in the comment field beside her name. This will open up the comment window. Simply type the comment in the space provided. Click Close, and that will save the comment. The appearance of a blue C indicates the comment was successfully inputted. You also have the option to manually enter that student's final achievement results for report card purposes. Remember that, here in New Brunswick, K-8 teachers use the following achievement scale to reflect student progress, with 1 indicating that the student is working below the learning goals, and 4+ indicating that the student is surpassing the learning goals set out in that learning standard. It is noteworthy that the EECD has made improvements in this scale with the addition of the 3+ and 4+ achievement scores. This met the need to allow teachers to more accurately reflect student progress. Madeline is a strong student, so 4, 4, 4. Once you input those scores, you can click Save. And now, Madeline's report card data has been saved. The last mode is the Student View mode. This will provide assessment summaries as defined by the filters you choose and that were mentioned earlier. For example, highlighting the active students will provide a statistical summary of the class as a whole. Selecting an individual student, let's select Brandon, for example, will bring up a statistical summary for that student. You can filter by category if you like. Once again, by clicking the summary button at the bottom, the statistical data for that student also appears. As noted earlier, selecting an individual student and viewing each mode, for example, assignments, final grades, and the Student View tab, would, for example, provide terrific feedback to a parent during a parent-teacher interview. Next to the Score Sheet tab is several other tabs that you can access. For example, the Assignments tab. This tab will show you a summary of all the assessments that you have entered in Gradebook this term. Once again, remember that with the category filter selected, you can easily filter these assignments by category for easy reference. The Student Info tab provides up-to-the-date student demographic information at your fingertips. On this screen, you also have the ability to customize content, adding columns containing information of your choice, such as bus numbers or student learning styles. The Grade Setup tab gives you the option to set up final assessment calculations by total points, term and standard weights, or category weights. K-8 teachers will likely use standard weights or category weights. Class content provides general information about the course. It also provides an option for teachers to add a description about the course and provides direct information on course content. This is also where a teacher could set up a web link, for example, for a class website. The Reports tab provides several predefined reports that come with Gradebook and may prove useful to teachers. Some examples include the attendance grid for taking attendance, the individual student report, which provides a summary of assessment results for each student, and lastly, the standards report. This would summarize the standards and outcomes students have been working on in class. As mentioned earlier, the Score Sheet tab is where most of the work by teachers is done. To the top right of the main page is an attendance icon. Clicking here will provide attendance options, including taking and viewing attendance for that class. Last but not least is the notifications icon. Clicking here will allow you to read any notifications that you need to be aware of. A nice feature is that birthday notices are also posted for students in your class, and this will give you the opportunity to acknowledge these with your students. Congratulations! You're now a little more familiar with Gradebook and its many features. You're excited to start working with this powerful tool, and you're feeling better about Gradebook.